All right, athletes, welcome to the Superfly Coaching Ironman Build Plan with 2 days off per week. We are going to get so much awesome work done and still allow you the flexibility to move things around a little bit, although I would encourage you to keep the workouts in order. So if you have to move the days off, don't try to reshuffle the workouts. I've really put a lot of thought into how they line up. If you absolutely need to reach out, maybe ask a question through one of our opportunities through the website, a membership area, Facebook group, and just double check. But the best thing to do is just reshuffle the day off unless it's a swim. I don't care when you swim. I don't care if you sub out for a master's group. I don't care if you dump a swim, and I don't care if you add a swim. Swims are non-weight bearing, so usually you're not going to hurt yourself by training on the swim. You'll see that I've structured the bricks for some solid days. The day before, a lot of your hard stuff or your long stuff. So the hard stuff is there and then followed by the long stuff. Never swap those, okay? Because if you do, not only could you potentially get hurt, but you'll negate a lot of the physiological benefits and adaptations that you get from doing the long workouts by following it up with a hard day. So I have those in place. The other things are with your run uphill. If you live by a place where your hill is a little bit more than 6%, that's not a big deal. But if you start running at much more than 6%, then what happens is your run form really starts to change. So I would encourage you to try to find something about 6% or less. The only caveat to that is for your long walks, if your workouts are, you're doing something that, you're tired and you wanted to start to make sure you're recovered for your long runs, you can walk for your long runs at 12% grade. The reason I say that is because when you walk at 12% grade and you focus on standing up tall, tucking your bum a little bit and making sure that you're not bending over, it will put you in a good running posture. It will also reduce a lot of the stress on your body and your heart rate will actually be, in most cases, higher than your long run pace. Most athletes that I coach, even at elite levels, I'll have them do walks a lot because they don't realize how fit you can actually get from walking at a 12% incline. So don't shy away from that sometimes. And sometimes you might just need the mental break. Go ahead and try it. So this week, we're going to dive right in. All right. If you don't have a pretty good base coming in and you're not sure if this is for you, you can do a couple of things. You can check out our base plans, which are amazing, or you can just scrub all of the intensities right now and just make sure that you're getting some of the work in, or do about 75% of everything. You will catch up over the 12 weeks. You have plenty of time. And so the other thing too is if you're not 100% sure of what these zones mean, then one, if you don't know what your zones are, then just use common sense for the first couple of weeks. I'm not going to be asking you, when you're doing even your intense workouts right now, I don't want you doing something that you're totally smoked. I want you doing stuff that you can maintain the same posture, form, and intensity throughout all the intervals. And then the easy stuff, or the zone 1-2 stuff, is basically that old talk test. So you should be able to talk and have a normal conversation while you're doing that aerobic work. That's the main things, all right? I don't care if you flip-flop Saturday and Sunday, but again, that would just be keeping everything in order. I want to make sure that if you're doing other weights and that type of stuff, that's fine. I'm not going to get too anxious about that. Just make sure it's not taking away from your ability to do the workouts that are asked of you. And no matter, if I forget to say this later, please never run more than 3 hours or 20 miles. So the risk that you have versus the reward that you get from that, it's just not worth it. So, and finally, the last question now you get a lot of times is, if you want to add some cycling, go ahead. Please don't add running unless you really know what you're doing. That's my official stance on this plan. But if you want to add some cycling in zone 1-2, I'm fine with that. So everybody enjoy your week. We will test in a few weeks. So we will have an opportunity to check in with your zones, and I'll see everybody in week 2.